the coaches are different from the players. So our working week for myself and Matt pretty much starts on a Sunday. So we're in discussion on a Sunday. I'll analyse the game from the Saturday, but also we'll have the feedback on the next opposition for the following week or the following fixture, and we're already planning the preparations for the next game. So a Sunday morning for myself is reviewing the footage of the game from a performance perspective and the outcomes, and then thereafter looking at the next opposition, and then myself and the gaffer will touch base on a Sunday, mainly for starting to basically share what we saw, but also then start to plan for the week ahead to make sure the Monday session is all organised for, but also the integration of the reserve players and the players that in the squad that maybe haven't been part of the Saturday previous, and then also starting to work towards the next game, whether it be midweek or whether it be a normal working week where it's just at the end of a week on a Saturday. So the Sunday very much for us too is that preparation, and then the Monday is when the players start their week physically and preparation wise as well. So the players on a Monday, again it's a mix, it's an integration of some of the reserve players could be playing on a Monday evening or a Tuesday, so we need to watch their loads in training in preparation for the game. We've also got players who are in what we call active recovery, so they've recovered on their day off on a Sunday but they're still in a recovery phase on the Monday. For the players that have played kind of 60 minutes to 90 minutes on the Saturday, and then you've got another integration of players who are maybe recovering from injury or haven't taken part on the Saturday and they need a different load. So the Monday sessions are mixed, and it's designed and tailored that way so that everybody's included, but they're all working at different loads and different intensities. Also, the medical team are very busy on a Monday, so the medical team, Stevie and Peter, Pedro will be in doing his massage work with the players, and the players will do their gym work on a Monday as well for their active recovery and flexibility, etc. So each have got their own individual plans, and they all work to those plans on a Monday. So Sunday, Monday's very much still recovery, but also there's a mix there of other players who are needing other preparations for the start of the week. Looking ahead to the Tuesday, again depending on the reserve fixtures, could be anything between 12 players or 25 players, and the Tuesday's very much our first loading day of the week, so from a physical perspective each of the players have got their own targets to meet to allow them to perform at their best on a Saturday, and Tuesday's our first loading day, so our week is structured in a way where Tuesdays and Thursdays are our main loading days for the players, so that's not just physical loading but mental loading as well. There's a lot of tactics, and you've seen today as well, being down at the training ground, that tactically we don't stop training a lot in these days, because it's more about us as coaches subliminally putting the challenges into the session for them, so that conditionally the players are just working at intensity as much as possible, because that's the way we want to play our game, we want to play with intensity. So we've got to train it that way as well, so not a lot of stoppages. So training, the design of the training session, so for myself and the gaffer, we're down here kind of between 8:30 and 9:15 each day, and from that period we know the day before what we're doing, we know kind of roughly the numbers, but you'll have maybe a player with a niggle, or maybe a player with illness, or a player decides that they're playing with the reserves and different things, so things can change by 1 or 2 players each day, and we need to be ready to alter training to suit. So we then spend the first hour of the day in here together, finalising the design of the session right down to the timings, the number of players in each teams, but also more importantly for a Tuesday and a Thursday is the relationship, so making sure that centre backs play together, right centre back and a right back play together in the training session as well, so that the communication levels are enhanced. So a lot of work mentally for me and the gaffer in the first kind of hour and 15 minutes, making sure that training is detailed down to we're getting as much as we can out of the period. Tuesdays then is a session where the loading's based on, we we call it strength, so it's a lot of small sizes, a lot of changes of direction for the players, but putting a lot of load into the muscles and the shorter movements in the muscles, and it's quite a high intense session for them, so it's a session where they really get the maximum out of it physically. They've then got, for most of the players, a double session, so they'll lunge after training and then go for their gym session as well. So each player's got their own individual plans again. And again, for those players, that's them now preparing towards a Saturday. When a Tuesday, if the reserves are playing, we'll be in here it allows myself and the manager to then look closely at the next opposition. So we've got our details, we've got our videos, got our footage, and we've got our plan. But if the reserves are playing on a Tuesday night, it gives us the chance to stay in here for another couple of hours and finalise that plan, and then go and watch the reserves in the evening. If we're not got a reserve game on a Tuesday, the two will head up the road. We'll do that planning kind of remotely from each other, and then we'll talk over probably the Wednesday's the day where we try to give each other a bit of space, because being in the car together all the time as well, you get a bit close to each other. So when it comes to Wednesday's probably time for me and him to give each other a bit of room as well and get a break for each other. So a Wednesday we don't talk too much unless we need to. Obviously January's totally different. We're talking to each other and the phones are on at the side of the bed all the time, because we need to be in touch with each other constantly through the January window. But thankfully the preparation prior to January has allowed us to be quite structured during January. So, but Wednesday's a day off for everybody, so we all get a break for each other and we get a chance to, more importantly from a physical perspective for the players, they get a chance to recover. So it's that from my perspective as a coach, I call it tapering. So we've loaded them up on the Tuesday, we taper down a bit on the Wednesday, and then on a Thursday when they come back in, same as a Tuesday, we look to get load physically and psychologically again, but slightly different on a Thursday where everything's bigger, so the sizes are bigger and it's a different type of muscle that we're using, different type of muscle action, but we're looking to lengthen things out, so a lot more high intensity runs, a lot more long distance running, the games are bigger, the possession boxes are bigger, and a lot more tactics put into a Thursday, but again the intensity doesn't change. And if we need to do any preparation towards the Saturday game, we're now, myself and the manager are now locked into, we're close to the starting 11, if not it's there, plus we know our game model, our game plan for the Saturday and what we want to tweak, so we'll put that into training, and that's again for the players a double session day as well. So if they have the need or the necessity to have their gym session that day, they'll do the gym in the afternoon. The men get to a Friday, and the Friday's pretty much just an activation day, so it's very low load, very low intensity, and it's just about making sure that it gives us a chance to tactically prepare for the Saturday. So like every team, you're probably looking at set pieces and shape and distances and certain information to certain key players, and a lot of, probably on a Friday, a lot of kind of small meetings after training. So we'll meet with the defenders, we'll meet with individual key players, and there's a lot more work done off the training ground on a Friday. So a lot of work in here with the players with the videos, and every player's different. They like that information, some players don't like it, so it's all tailored to suit the individual, but they'll choose how they want to prepare for the game. A lot of players like loads of reports about who they're playing against, other players don't want to know, they just want to know the key bits of information, so it's down to us to make sure that we tailor for each one so that they're comfortable in how they're preparing. And then from a Friday it's just getting ready for the game on a Saturday, and then Sunday morning it all starts again. So it is pretty, the big thing is the structure, so you'll see a kind of a coloured calendar every time you come in here, and the colours mean something to me and Mark, and the players now are fully aware of the structure of training as well. So the training every week, we're 5 to 6 weeks planned ahead all the time, and that obviously changes to suit fixtures, but we're only making wee tweaks to the training sessions as we go, and we know each day what we're working on well in advance. And again for me, both player and coach, you want it to be different, you don't want to be doing the same thing all the time, so we make sure from an inspirational perspective that there's something motivating the players all the time. So Tuesdays aren't always the same, they're different, and we change things up at time to time, and it gets that learning and the intensity constant. So working week wise, that's pretty much it from the training perspective. A lot more goes on in the background from the perspective of we've got obviously the medical team. They've got their own schedule that they work to during that week to match their intensities, etc. So Peter the masseuse will come in certain days on the back of the loading days to help with that side of things. Stephen's here all the time from a physiotherapy perspective to take care of the players during the training sessions and afterwards. We've also got Zoe from the sports psychology perspective, so Zoe's in on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and Zoe works predominantly at the moment with the young players, so the young players in the reserve squad, and Zoe's doing a lot of group work with them on the development of mental skills. So Zoe's assisting the players with developing mental skills for coping with the game, coping with the sport, and it's assisting them. And Zoe also, she's on the training pitch with us, so she sees the body language of the players and how they react under challenge, etc. So Zoe does a lot of work there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got, for example, just now we've got an intern in from Roberts Gordon University, so young Louis training, he's down at every training session, he's filming training. It gives us a chance to link that to the GPS outputs, but also to more so the younger players for their individual development plans, but also for them to look up at the senior players as well, and they can see things in training that maybe that we're asking them in training to get better at, but from a memory perspective, unless they can see it again, it makes it difficult. So the filming the training is important for us as well to give them that feedback. And myself and Louis will sit in here after training. I'll take the GPS results, speak to the medical team with regards to those, but also start to then look at the GPS scores, etc., and the outputs, and look at that performance data relative to where we want the players to be and where the players themselves want to be as well, because each of them have got individual targets depending on their position. Probably the most important factor for myself is the physical condition of the player, so monitoring fatigue, the load of fatigue, and making sure that our training is designed correctly for what the player needs. So the players, each individual player will wear his GPS unit every day, obviously apart from their days off. So you take a reserve player, they'll wear it in training, they'll wear it in their game on a Tuesday evening, and they'll wear it if they're out on loan on a Saturday, they'll take it with them when they're on loan, so that we know their outputs, but we can also manage their conditioning as well. So if that player's doing too much in a week, we can tailor the early part of the next week down, or for example if they're not doing enough in our opinion as well, and looking at the GPS scores, we'll sit down with the player and tailor and design their training for the following week to make sure we get there. So the most important factor for us is the fatigue side of it, but then from the performance aspect of the GPS is each player's position and how we play tactically alters what we're looking for from the player, but we very much have the players leading it. So the players now, they understand the GPS system, they understand the scores, they understand positionally what their sort of levels they're looking for, and we give them the opportunity, again, like preparing for a game, how much do they want to know. So some players might not want to know, and it could be an aspect that they only want to maybe know what distance they covered, or did I hit my top speed. That's always a good one, where they like to know if I hit my top speed, did I get there. And so some players from the basic perspective are quite happy because they're playing well and everything's going. If there's an aspect of I didn't quite feel good on Saturday, I felt a bit heavy legged in the first half, I wasn't quite sure, then we started to go into more detail, and probably the big aspect for us from a game day is looking at the GPS also gives us the distances and the shape of the team, and you've seen earlier the kind of heat maps and the player routes, we can use them to look at the interactions between, like earlier with the three guys in, so we had Darren, Danny Harvey and Alan Forrest, and we're specifically looking at the game footage and their distances as a three, so left centre back and left midfielder, how they interacted in the game and what their distances and their shape was like when we were defending. but also supporting each other in the attack as well. So there's various, it's so big where you can go, but also we're very conscious that you can have information overload, so you choose when you use the information and when you don't. So yes, it is new for the players, but most of the players are pretty aware of it, whether at their previous clubs or we've got a lot of international players, so they use it internationally as well. So a good familiarity with the system.